things about Burgundy is that it's actually really quite large. The middle bit isn't that large. So the middle bit, the Côte d'Or, and that's between the Côte de Nuit and the Côte de Beaune, and they abut each other exactly. There's no distance between them. The Côte de Nuit and the Côte de Beaune. Nuit Saint-Georges in the north, N for Nuit, north, Nuit. Beaune, bottom, Côte de Beaune, B for bottom in the south. Yeah, that's how I remember things. Nuit and Dijon is at the top. Maybe Lyon is kind of, well, it's after this. It'll take about an hour and a half to drive through. It's really quite small, the whole region. But that's not all that Burgundy is, because that's the Côte d'Or. Burgundy's right up in the north as well, and that's Chablis. And then people consider, well, obviously the Macon and Chalon are part of Burgundy, but typically we consider Beaujolais to be part of Burgundy, but even though it's probably closer in lots of ways to the Rhone, we still think it's light red wine mostly, and therefore kind of a bit more Burgundian. Anyway, we'll see. It doesn't really matter. It's quite varied, I suppose is what I'm saying, and because it's quite large in geographical scope rather than area, it gives a lovely cool place in the north, and that cool place is very famous, and it's Chablis. Because it's so far north and because it's so cool, it is quite at risk of natural elements, and most specifically frost. Chablis itself is a very small town, and it's kind of surrounded by this massive amphitheatre formed by the hills, which are now planted with vines. I'm lucky, I've been there a few times, and it's really quite chilly. I was there late April one year and it was cold, and then a few years later, May, it was cold. It's not a very warm place, but it's still really wonderful to go. It's very beautiful, and they have a special local delicacy for eating with andouillette, offal, and Chablis goes really well with offal. How did they find that out? Anyway, it just does. Oh, crikey, get me something to go well with this food. And they went through all the points. I don't know. But it's very, very offal, served with lots of cream. Anyway, enough. This Chablis is really beautiful. It's organic, which is not insignificant in Chablis. It's difficult to be organic because, as I say, you've got to prevent against lots of natural issues, frost being one of them. Now, organic versus frost, frost isn't one of the things that you're going to not become organic for, but it is still much harder to be organic in Chablis than it is in other parts of the world. And for that, and for the quality of this wine from this excellent producer, I'm very grateful. It's really beautiful, very crisp, very clean, very fresh, very like Chablis, but oh, hold on a second, it's got a whole load more flavour than perhaps traditionally you'd expect, which is essentially lots and lots of green, crisp apple and maybe some unripe plums as well. Enjoy.